Hey everybody, this is Devin with Homeschool House Calls. I logged in a little bit early because I got excited. But anyway, how are y'all tonight? I am on spring break with my college students. It's their a week off, so we decided we would go and see Mimi and Pop. Can you, isn't it sweet that that's what they requested to see their grandparents? So we headed off into the wild blue yonder to spend some time with them. But anyway, so we're going to go through. So let me pull up. Okay, so tonight we're talking about, are you scheduling yourself into your homeschool day, into your homeschool schedule? That's a better way to put it. This is something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about mothers taking their job serious, that when we take on the homeschool educator, when we become the teacher, we are becoming a professional and we should act that way. Well, the thing is, what we don't usually remember as homeschool moms is professionals take breaks. They have things scheduled into their schedule by the people who hired them to make them better teachers. So, what are those some of those things? And those who know me well know that I talk about this a lot. Um, Putting yourself into your budget and your schedule as a teacher. Taking, let's see what I've got in here. Um, yeah, I'm ahead of myself. So anyway, we'll talk about all that night. But it's always been passionate that we take ourselves as a professional, that we're scheduling continuing education into our budget, and that it means your some of your homeschool budget, whatever your budget is, you're taking some of that to further your education as a home educator. That could be going to conferences, that could be workshops, or taking paid classes. Like I took one that taught me how to make worksheets so that we homeschooled 18 years, but I've never made worksheets until this year. So I'm like, so that is one of the things I'm passionate about is we're putting ourselves into our budget and our time. So tonight we're talking about how do we schedule ourselves into our homeschool schedule. I put day, I titled it day, but I really, it goes more than that. It also goes into just making sure you're putting yourself into your schedule in several different ways. So here we are. We're at the end of the year. Maybe this is your first year. Maybe you're just starting, and we're looking to see what we're didn't. And you're getting ready for next year and you pull your schedule out, let's make sure that you're scheduling yourself into that time. So how do we do that? How do we put some buffer? Let me see, I got another. How do we put some buffer into our schedule? The first thing is you've got to make some decisions. Now, some of the things that I do for myself is I make sure that I have at least 15 minutes a day that I go sit on my porch by myself. Now, when the kids were little, I couldn't do that. I get that. You cannot always walk outside of your kids' sites when you've got babies, or that may not be, it may not always be realistic. But there are some things that you can do. I had a baby monitor so that I could hear what was going on in the baby's room. And so during nap time, I could walk on the porch. You could utilize that with big kids, like if you go on the porch and you got something there and you can hear what they're doing. So, because when you have littles, they climb. I had one that climbed up. We called her on top of she was on the minivan. We didn't even know she could pick locks at that point. She was like probably less than 3. She learned how to open the locks, get outside, climb on top of the minivan. So, no, you have to be realistic with your children. But as they get older, I promise it gets easier. I mean, I have longer stretches on my front porch than I did 5 to 10 years ago. And there are seasons, so you try to be realistic to find at least a part of a time where you're doing 15 minutes as a break, and it's more than a bathroom break. It could be in the summer I'll make or hot coffee, sit on my porch 15 minutes. It may not be a long period of time, but it works. Um, Another thing that I have done is shortening my school week. Now, right now we're doing 4 instead of 5, but there have been times where we did 3 instead of 5. We had 3 days at home. Everything was scrunched. It made for longer days, but it gave us the buffer that we needed at that time. One year it was 3. We were at home doing school 3 days out of 5. And that's one of those things, is because my kids travel with school well. They never have. When I would try to be the mom with the bag on the go. Now my youngest seems to be able to do this. So she's had a couple of days lately where we've gone to the library while the big kids were in music class. Um, but when I had four together, that didn't work. And that's probably because there were four. If you have one or two, you might be able to travel with school. My kids, I couldn't. I mean, I had four and then I had five. So what we did was shorten it to 3 days a week. And it is not an easy 3 days. Let me just say, I'll be honest, it is not easy to do 3 days, but 4 days is very workable. You just, yeah, so it's like you just schedule that 4 day and then you have that fifth day. What do we do on that fifth day? So that fifth day I would use for grading days. That might not happen every week. It just depends on how many kids you got and what you've got to do. But it also sometimes it was my field trip day. Right now it is the co-op day. We're actually in a co-op again. It's been about 10 years, 9 to 10 years since we did one. I left a co-op and I was so tired. I was like, I'm never doing that again. But here I am doing it again. My littles don't remember co-op, and my big ones are graduated, so we're enjoying it. It could be your doctor's appointments. It could be anything that you need that buffer in your time. So at least consider doing 1 day a week as a buffer. I usually like it to be hooked to Monday or Friday. I don't like having a break. Some co-ops will be in the middle of the week, like on a Thursday or a Tuesday. I'm not a fan of that for my kids. I want something, whatever it is, to be connected to the weekend so that we have a 3 day weekend. But that's just me. You can do whatever works for you. That's okay. If y'all have questions, y'all let me know. I can see. I can't see you. I have to always tell people that when I say I see you, I just know you're watching. I don't actually see you. So I had somebody concerned one time. So schedule in your teacher work days. This is separate than having your extra Friday where you're catching up on the grading. A teacher's work day, remember when you're in public school, you would have every so often at the beginning of a quarter or at the end of a quarter, there was a teacher's work day where you didn't go to school and the teachers were there working. Schedule these into your time. You can, if you have a homeschool group of friends, like say there's two or three moms, y'all hang out together. Trade off every week. 1 week, one mom is free to go do her schoolwork, and two can watch and hang out and have a good time. Then the next time, it's like you can switch out and rotation. Susan talks about this when her kids were little, and she would rotate with other moms where you had time to go do those errands that are unusual. I've done this with my brother at Christmas. I dropped my kids off. He watched them while I did shopping, for Christmas. So there are ways that you can have a teacher's work day and work it into your schedule. What do you do if you don't have a support base? We'll talk about that another day and how to build your own support base because it is important. But if you don't have one, you can give the kids a movie popcorn day and you can take some time to back off away from them and get your teacher work day. Let's see. Let me see what else. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anything. It can also be on your fifth day, but I don't really want you to schedule that fifth day. That fifth day of every week that you can catch up on your grading and do all that stuff. But a teacher work day is dedicated for some specific task. It could be planning out the next couple of months. It could be taking in a workshop that you wanted to go to, or something. It could be it's a work day. It's your learning day. Let's see. And last, another thing that I do is every summer schedule a teacher work week to lesson plan for the next year. I do not usually do the whole year, but the basic down. I may not have every little thing that says page 10, read page 10, do this lesson, but I may have it cut down so that I have a general guideline on what I want. Sometimes when the kids were younger, they would be more detailed than that. It's just you can do one, you can do 2 weeks. I usually do at least one good week, and it's usually during Kids Crusade. My husband would take the kids to the Kids Crusade at church, and I would spend the evening doing lesson plans for the next year and reading through the material and looking through the book and having that block of time so that I could actually pay attention and I didn't have four kids calling my name. But those are some ways that I schedule buffer into my schedule, and hopefully helped out. Let me know how you do it. If you do it different and you have other ways you do it, post below and let me know how you schedule buffer into your time. But hopefully, I gave you some ideas. Have a great night since nobody's being chatty, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.